to the cornerstone. Stand strong on the sure foundation, surrounded by the fortress strong.
And
when all the storms of life are raging, hold on,
gotta hold on to
Everybody
the rock.
sing.
You've got to hold on to the rock of ages. Hold on to the fortress strong.
Gotta
Stand strong on the sure foundation, surrounded by the fortress strong.
And
when all the storms of life are raging, hold on,
gotta hold on
to the rock.
Yeah.
Do we dare? Whatever. Right after this? Over there. Mm-hmm. Over there. Do you want me to ask for her? If Kate Rod is in the building, can you find Maya Landell up at the front here? Kate Rod for Maya Landell. Just you there? Yeah. Get the real thing. Ready? Oh, do we dare eat the produce of the hills? Do we dare touch the gifts of the earth? Do we dare dip our feet in the oil? Do we dare try God's new thing? Do we dare? As for me and my house, we serve the Lord. Let the soles of our feet touch the rivers we ford. Baptism blessings for our new beginnings. Yes, me and my house, we dare to serve the Lord. Do we dare see the spring inside the rock? Do we dare count the stars overhead? Do we dare cross that river into promise? Do we dare try God's new thing? Do we dare? As for me and my house, we serve the Lord. Let the soles of our feet touch the rivers we ford. Baptism blessings for our new beginnings. Yes, me and my house, we dare to serve the Lord. Do we dare let the grain die in winter? Do we dare feel the sun once again? Do we dare spread that seed in a new place? Do we dare try God's new thing? Do we dare? As for me and my house, we serve the Lord. Let the soles of our feet touch the rivers we ford. Baptism blessings for our new beginnings. Yes, me and my house, we dare to serve the Lord. As for me and my house, we serve the Lord. Let the soles of our feet touch the rivers we ford. Baptism blessings for our new beginnings. Yes, me and my house, we dare serve the Lord. Serve the Lord. Yeah. Yeah.
So I'm going to test out this mic. Is it working? Is it working? Good. So as we get ready for a very special evening of celebration about our 90th anniversary, and I see our moderator just finding his way to the stage. And one quick announcement to those that were at the dinner. If somebody walked off by mistake with Peter Short's backpack, I think he's at table 17 and he needs his glasses. So anyway, if there's a backpack that somebody from dinner has, take a look and make sure you've got the right one. Before we begin tonight with the celebration of our 90 years, we have coming up, I'm going to ask people to take their seats because this is a very special moment that's coming up. So let's just take a minute till people take their seats and settle down and stop talking because this is one of our special moments of General Council. We're going to give you a minute to get into your chairs and get the conversation down. And if they're over there, I'll come over here. So the moment that we're about to experience is one of the solemn moments of this gathering, and it's one of the most joyous moments. I'm going to introduce to you the 12 people who've been nominated for Moderator of the United Church of Canada. They're each going to come up and they're each going to receive a beautiful stole that they'll be wearing for the rest of the week. And thank you, Susan Shepherd, for designing and making the beautiful stoles. These are something that these Moderator nominees will have forever. Are you ready to meet the nominated people for, okay. And tonight we'll be introducing them in alphabetical order. Tomorrow you'll see them in a different order because we did a very un-United Church thing. We did a lottery, or we drew names, you know, but don't tell, it wasn't really gambling. Anyway, I'm going to introduce them each. Roy is going to hand the stools to the moderator who will place them on each member. First of all, the Reverend Jim Ball. Reverend Deborah Bowman. Reverend Jordan Cantwell. Reverend Brian Cornelius. Reverend Sean Friday. Ann Harbridge. Reverend Karen Hilfman-Milson. Reverend Dave Jagger. The Reverend Dr. Andrew Richardson. Michael Schuberg. Reverend Bill Thomas. And the Reverend Dr. John Young. Let's show our appreciation for this wonderful group of people. You'll be hearing more from each of them later. Tonight we have other festivities. We're just going to let Dan Benson take a couple more pictures. Have you got enough pictures, Dan? Okay, very good. Before we hand the stage over to a special, very special presentation. The moderator doesn't want to say anything. Okay, we're done, guys.
Give him the cue.
Let there be light. Let there be light. Let there. It's on. There we go. Let there be light. A theatrical history of the United Church.
1925, an historic convocation at the Mutual Street Arena.
No.
What?
No, that's not the beginning.
Oh. In the beginning, the early 20th century, social change, immigration, a world war, Western expansion.
No.
Okay. In the beginning, there were Presbyterians and Methodists and Congregationalists. In the beginning, there was a land and a people who were joined by Christians from across the sea.
Oh, my goodness. No.
In the beginning was the Protestant Reformation. No. The Catholic Church. No. The early Christian community.
In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. And the Word said, as you have sent me into the world, I send them into the world, that all may be one.
Maybe one?
Maybe.
You didn't tell me that was the beginning.
Well, you should have read your script.
Yes, okay. Now 1925?
Now, 1925.
Good evening, church fans, and welcome to Union Night in Canada from Mutual Street Arena in Toronto. I'm Ron McCain, and as usual, I'm here with the ebullient and sophisticated Don Sherry.
It's going to be one heck of a rock'em sock'em game.
It certainly will, Don, as the Methodists, Presbyterians, and Congregationalists all try to unite into one amalgamated, consolidated, confederated, combined.
Stop trying to be Howard Cosell, please. Just say united, and let's get on with it.
All right, Don, I will. One united church. The date is June 10th, 1925. Plans for church union have been in the works since 1902, but it all comes down to this moment, this ceremony, this arena, Mutual Street Arena in Toronto, Ontario, Canada. It's a packed house here. There are 7,046 people in the crowd, a choir of 250 representing all three denominations, 350 commissioners, 3 of whom are women. There are representatives of the so-called union churches coming from...
Yeah. Like anybody cares. Let's just get to the fighting.
Well, there certainly has been a lot of fighting, Don. The church union team is going to have to play their best game of the season if they want this union church idea to get off the ground.
Now, let me just say something about union right now. They've been doing it for years out on the West Coast because it's practical and it's an effective way to deal with the church in the changing society.
So, in your opinion, church union is pretty much inevitable.
Haha, in your dreams, McCain. That anti-union team is a bunch of heavy hitters. They're going to go to the boards to try and stop church union.
And here come the teams. Reverend George Pigeon of the church union team will be facing off against Reverend Ephraim Scott of the anti-union team.
Now that Pigeon guy's a good player. It ain't no wonder they named him Moderator of the Presbyterian Church. He may be named after a bird, but he ain't no chicken.
Well, what do you think about that Ephraim Scott, captain of the anti-union team, Don?
Ephraim Scott. Now that guy's a bruiser. As the editor of the Presbyterian Record, he puts the tank in cantankerous. Some people say he's a little too old, but I say at 80 years old, he's just hitting his prime. After all, look at Wayne Gretzky. He was 99 when he retired.
That was his number, Don, not his age. Anyway, and it looks like Pigeon and Scott are in position now for the face-off.
Ho-ho! Presbyterian meets Presbyterian. We're gonna see some sparks fly here.
And there's the hand, and... oh, a snub! A definite snub. Let's see that one again.
All right, now listen up. I'm down here at ice level with the Reverend Ephraim Scott F. That was some move there.
I will not shake hands with that man. This union is a national disgrace. They're trying to blot out the Presbyterian Church of Canada. But it ain't gonna happen. We've got a strong defense. And mark my words, we can be offensive as well.
That's good to know. Now I'm joined here by Dr. Samuel Chown, who is the General Superintendent of the Methodist Church in Canada and also captain of the church union team. What about that move in the face-off, Sam?
Well, I'll tell you, Don, it's not over till it's over. We are inspired. We have a vision of Dominion-wide service. We're going to give it 110%, and we are going to be a united voice for Christ throughout the world.
Sounds pretty good, Sam, but weren't you telling me earlier you was just into this church union thing to keep the Roman Catholics from getting religious control of the country?
No, that,
Don't try to weasel out of it, Sam. We know that's the way you really think.
Sorry to interrupt, Don, but things are really heating up here at center ice. One of the players of the anti-union team has just been sent off to the penalty box for trying to coerce another player into voting against the union. The referees are desperately trying to control the ensuing brawl. It's pandemonium down there, folks. I can't even hear myself think.
Haha, that's the way the game should be played.
Oh, and it looks like, what's happening here now? It looks like 38% of the Presbyterians are opting out of union. The Presbyterians are split.
Oh, that's gotta hurt. They're heading for the showers, and they're taking Knox College with them.
Hang on, Don. Something's happening at center ice. Apparently, the Congregationalists, the Methodists, and the remaining Presbyterians are trying to make a go of it. It looks like, yes, a union, a definite union. Kind of grumpy and not all happy about the splits in the respective congregations, but a union nonetheless. The only thing left now is the closing hymn.
Closing hymn. Well, the Congregationalists are pushing for God of grace and God of glory, but the Presbyterians want something from the Scottish Psalter, and I heard that the Methodists were wanting something by, yes, Wesley.
Wesley.
Well, let's just leave them to work that out while we announce the most valuable player of the union, the game's MVP, who will become the church's first moderator.
What, no car?
No car, Don. So who's your guess?
Well, I gotta say Chown. He played an excellent game, and although I think he could have dropped the gloves a little sooner, he really held that team together.
Yeah, Chown's my choice too, but I don't think the demoralized Presbyterians are going to like the idea of a Methodist moderator. That's bound to cause some hurt feelings. Wait a second, Chown's on his feet, presumably accepting nomination.
Now, I've given it some thought, but I think a Presbyterian should be the first moderator of the United Church of Canada. So I would like to cast my vote for George Campbell Pigeon.
That is one classy move. He was a shoo-in for moderator, and he gave it up for church union.
And George Pigeon is the new moderator of the new United Church. What a historic day, Don. An exciting bit of denominational union drama, an act of real love, and that certainly bodes well for this new church. Well, that's the game, folks. Thanks for tuning in. Tune in again in 1968.
Church is one foundation.
Great music. Tune in again in 1968 for another exciting game of Union Night in Canada. Local blackouts in effect.
Hi, I'm UC Kasem, and this is the Basis of Union Countdown. We've been counting down the top 20 articles of faith in the United Church Basis of Union. From number 20 to number 1, we're about to announce the article of faith sitting in at the number 1 spot this week. In that name of that article, in a minute. But first, let's listen to Susie Farquhar from Dusty Skeetney, Saskatchewan, who writes in to say, "You see, I love your show. I listen to it every week. But I find myself disagreeing with some of the articles that make it to the top 20. Should I quit the church?" Well, Susie, the theology of the United Church, as summarized in the 20 Articles of Faith, comes from 2 different streams: the Calvinist theology of the Presbyterians, and Congregationalist is at times almost irreconcilable with the Wesleyan theology of the Methodists. Think of it as like trying to combine a band with the Beach Boys and the Supremes. So it's not surprising you have trouble with the articles. Many people do. That's why ministers only have to be in essential agreement with the Basis of Union, but in total agreement with the pension plan. Thanks for writing in, Susie. And now, the number 1 article in the 20 Articles of Faith, sitting tight at the number 1 spot this week. Article 1 of God. We believe in the one only true living God, a spirit infinite, eternal, and unchangeable, plenteous in mercy, full of compassion, and abundant in goodness and truth. Article 1 of God. Well, that's the Basis of Union Countdown for this week. I'm UC Kasem, and until next time, keep watching that faith.
The stage crew's going to move the table. And then
I told them, long before we got into this whole union shambles. I said to the women of the Ladies' Auxiliary, ladies, beware. The traditions of our forefathers will be deserted, and we will be left desolate. And this is how it happened. And sure enough, my words have come true. The camel's spine has been broken. And this is the offending straw, the cancer in the bud, the splinter in the eye of all faithful Christians. This new hymnary. They say we need a new hymn book to reflect our 3 denominations. Does that mean maliciously omitting all those beautiful songs that form the cornerstone of our religious life? Where is Bringing in the Sheaves? Where is Amazing Grace? Where is the church in the wildwood? Oh, come, 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 come to the church in the wildwood. How could they leave out those songs? And the songs they have included, unsingable. I am angry. I am very angry. I cannot stand idly by and watch my faith, which I hold so dear, pardon my language, but peed on in such a way. I won't stand for it. I can't stand for it. I'm leaving the church. This is the last you'll see of me.
Hi, boys and girls. Are you ready for the Punch and Judy show? I bet you are. Just wait. My nagging wife, Judy, will be on in a minute. But first, let me tell you about what she's been pestering me about lately. She seems to think that women should be allowed to be ministers in the United Church. Isn't that silly? What are we going to say to them, boys and girls? Should we allow women to be ministers? No! We're going to say no, nay, never, no. Whack, 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 whack. No way, never, no, sir, will you be a minister? Oh, I think we're ready for her nagging now. Shh, here comes Judy.
For today's performance, the role of Judy will be played by Miss Nellie McClung.
Uh-oh.
Good afternoon, Mr. Punch.
Judy, my darling, loving, nagging wife, how are you?
I will be considerably better when you smarten up and realize that women are just as competent for ordained ministry as men, and in some cases, more so.
She wastes no time, doesn't she?
I hereby submit a resolution to the 1928 General Council that women be ordained.
Ordain women. Let me think. Okay, I've thought about it. And my answer is no, nay, never, no. Whack, 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 whack. Oh! Him. This requires a different approach.
The floor is now open for debate.
Boys and girls of the General Council, does the church need more femininity or more masculinity? Will the work of the church be made attractive to strong, virile manhood with the proposed ordination of women?
Let me get this straight, Mr. Punch. Women are completely capable of paying off mortgages, of building churches, of doing all manner of light work, but the real work of making and passing resolutions in the general conferences and assemblies must be left to strong, hardy men.
Boys and girls, the ordination of women must be opposed because A, there is no precedent in church history.
Translation, we've never done it like that before.
B, most women don't want it.
Translation, your sisters might not be happy.
And C, it would not be accepted by other churches.
Translation, what would the Joneses say?
Boys and girls, vote no.
That's a good idea. Let's make a vote. Let's take it to a vote. All those in favor? All those opposed? 76 for, 26 against. The motion is carried.
Judy, Judy, Judy.
In 1936, Lydia Grucci is ordained a minister with the United Church of Canada, the first woman ever.
There once was a time when a Scottish preacher could pray, Lord, I thank thee that God made women to make men comfortable. He cannot pray that way now.
Me, Doc, it's this depression. I can't seem to shake it. Ever since the stock market crashed in 1929, and then the prairies, they just turned into a dust bowl. There were no jobs. I couldn't support my family. I started hopping on boxcars from town to town, but there were no jobs anywhere. If it hadn't been for those nice United Church people who opened the soup kitchens in their church basement, I don't think I would have survived this long. And I heard that there were some United Church folks who were lobbying the government to step in and to regulate banking, but they got labeled as communists, and nobody listened to them. Oh, it's this depression. Don't know what I'm going to do. How am I going to break this depression?
Dear Doris, war. I can't begin to describe its awfulness. The men seem to appreciate my presence here. As a chaplain, I've even earned a nickname, the Fearless Midget. I don't know why. I'm not a midget after all, and I'm far from fearless. Yes, I did go back and retrieve that wounded man and ended up capturing 6 Germans in the process. But that was more luck than bravery. Thank you for sending a copy of the Witness Against the War document. Those 68 United Church ministers may be right. War is an abomination. But I'm here in a battle against evil itself, and I think their witness is out of place. We don't need criticism. We need prayers, and plenty of them. If a stray bullet should find its way to me, I want it said that I fought the good fight. Your loving, but far from fearless husband, Arthur.
Green tea, slowly sipped. I stare through the barbed wire fence, waiting to go home. Tak Komiyama, United Church minister, 1942.
born in Canada, but born with almond-shaped eyes, and therefore suspect. All my precious books taken, the notes I had made in the margins lost. If we had been spies, we would have seen this coming. Instead, here we are.
The United Church of Canada would like to distance itself from all the vicious and unchristian attitudes. We hold that in faith in Christ, there's no distinction with race and color. We will support the relocated Japanese Canadians with food and lodgings and supplies and education.
"4 years of waiting. The tea is too cold to drink." 1945.
May 8th, VE Day. It's the end of the war. Soon we will go home.
Then Hiroshima. It is the end of the world. What does home mean now?
Here is the church. Here is the steeple. Open the doors, and the 1950s was a boom time for the United Church. In the early 60s, they put out Bible study for adults in Sunday schools using the kind of biblical scholarships and interpretations used in theological schools and seminaries for years, but for the first time now was making it to people in the pews.
Myth. Myth, they say. Apparently, the world was not created in 7 days, despite the fact that the Bible clearly says that it was. Noah and the flood, Jonah and the ark, the entire Christian faith reduced to myth and lies by these new curriculum blasphemers and their atheistic philosophy. No virgin birth. Why, it's like saying Christ was not divine. And for this, they spent $1 million? These books should all be gathered in one place and burned. In fact, if I weren't a Christian woman, I would say that the authors of these books should be burned as well. But I am a Christian woman, and I will rest calm in the knowledge that these godless deceivers will find certain destruction at the hands of the Creator they defy. Mark my words, this new curriculum is a wholesale sellout to Satan. I won't stand for it. I can't stand for it. I'm leaving the church. This is the last you'll see of me.
Throughout the 60s, membership dropped. The United Church considered the possibility of another union, this time with the Anglicans. For more than a decade, the discussion and debates went on. 29% of Anglicans and more than half the United Church were eager for a union. Meanwhile, 6% of Uniteds and 31% of Anglicans said they would leave the church if union became a reality. Would the United Church join a union with the Anglicans? Yes, yes, it said the General Council. And the Anglicans, would they be willing? In 1975, the General Synod met and decided, no! It flung the proposed union back in the United Church's face with a haughty laugh, turned its back, and danced off in its own direction. The poor United Church, disappointed and demoralized. United? It was a failure, the whole church a failure. But wait, union is not an impossibility. The Evangelical United Brethren has been waiting in the wings since 1925. Realizing only now that union with the United Church was its life's destiny. But can the United Church take another chance on union? Is it willing to risk being burned yet again? Yes, yes, a smooth and beautiful union. This is an easy way for the United Church to gain 10,000 members, said the overjoyed United Church. The Evangelical United Brethren, with an impish glint in its eye, replies, no, it's an easy way for the EUB to gain 1 million.
Am I on? Apparently, I'm not allowed to say Father anymore. No King of Kings or Lord of Lords. I can't even say mankind. Who do they think they are, taking the God that I have loved and prayed to my entire life and changing him into some sort of mother-father hybrid God? Oh. Just the other day, in the middle of worship, I opened my hymn book to find words crossed out in a hymn book. Words crossed out and new ones penciled in. This must be some kind of sin. I don't know what kind of sin, but it must be some kind. God in a dress. What a ridiculous idea. I won't stand for it. I can't stand for it. I'm leaving the church. This is the last you'll see of me.
Throughout the 70s and 80s, there was a growing awareness of the unequal status of women in the church.
We've been ordaining women since 1936.
Yet women in ordained ministry were still a minority. Men continued to be at center stage, wielding power and influence, while women remained at the margins.
Yay for the men.
In many places in society and throughout the world, women were treated as second-class citizens. The political and economic oppression of women around the world was an injustice needing to be solved.
Throughout the 20th century, women struggled to make their voices heard.
Yes, at times women had to be quite vocal in order to be acknowledged and treated as equals. Feminism within the church challenged us to strive for gender equality in our relationships, in our language, our theology, and our structures. And in turn, the church became a voice calling for justice and gender equality in the world.
But
it still seemed that men held a monopoly on positions of power in society and in the church.
Finally, in 1988, churches around the world established the Ecumenical Decade of Churches in Solidarity with Women. It was finally an opportunity to look at issues of gender justice, to challenge long-standing oppression, to look and reimagine our relationship with God and our understanding of the holy. It was a chance to celebrate the contributions of women in the world and in the church. It was finally an opportunity for women to take center stage.
The ecumenical decade was a time of wonderful, wonderful opportunities. Although there began to be concern that we would never change the mainline churches, that the ecumenical decade of churches in solidarity with women was in fact the ecumenical decade of women in solidarity with women.
Oh, hang on there just a second now. I'm a man, and I supported the decade. In fact, I ran Bible studies that focused on women in the Bible.
And I seconded various anti-sexism motions at Presbytery.
And I raised money for shelters for abused women.
When I started a men's group where men could talk about their feelings, because when men get in touch with their emotions...
Oh, and how we've been socialized in terms of our understanding of ourselves and the world and our relationship with men and women.
Yes, when men finally have a chance to deal with their own emotions, it's only then that men and women truly can be equal.
Yay for the men.
You know, I can't even begin to tell you what's wrong with this picture.
When are we going to have a decade in solidarity with men?
You've had the last 500.
I think she has issues.
She needs to express herself more.
Okay, I'll take care of that. In 1988, a report was put before the General Council of the United Church proposing that homosexual orientation should not bar people from consideration for ministry. Do the fanfare. Two factions, both alike in certainty, in fair Victoria, where we lay our scene. From ancient grudge, debate, and disagree, in terms at times polite, at times obscene. Two microphones, one for, one against, and see a chasm untransversible between.
In faith we do affirm the right of all. It matters not if they be straight or gay, to be ordained if fit they be, and thus to Mike the First we come to have our say.
We needs must voice concern, lest Bible law and Christian values all be left behind. We love the sinner, hate the sin, thus we, to Mike the Second, come to speak our mind.
From forth these two camps of A and Nay step apart, two lovers.
And whilst that cancel rancor holds its sway, these two pass resolutions of the heart.
For prelude to our tale, seek 81. A woman, lesbian and self-declared, feels that she, by Conference of Hamilton, should be ordained. This feeling is not shared, and thus ignites a decade of debate. Should gays and lesbians from pulpit preach? And here at General Council 88, the church must needs a resolution reach.
Wouldst thou malign and undermine the faith?
Wouldst thou further oppress the trodden down?
And wouldst thou disregard moral law?
And wouldst thou catapult us back in time to days of silence, closets, and of death?
At times, beneath discussion and debate, lurk undertones of anger, fear, and hate.
Thou rabble rouser!
Thou
comfortable pew sitter.
Thou reveler in perversion.
Thou sexually repressed, Bible-thumping dinosaur.
Thou Sunday school corrupter.
Thou homophobe.
Thou heretic.
Thou fascist.
Fie.
Fie on thee.
Fie on thee.
Halt! Pray, halt thy advance, I Jew and poor. Forsake thy enmity and let us speak.
Pour oil on thy calumny, I pray. For here across the council floor have I found one who sets my soul afire with love.
And likewise I have found my true love at last. In troth, our love needs to be confessed and known, that while our elders make resolutions pass, in secret we made passes of our own. Whilst tabled motions did distract the court, emotions led us under tables to consort.
This cannot be, for we are of Mike 1, whilst they are, and all their kind speak of Mike 2.
Thou, Julie, art the basis of my union, and all 20 articles of faith to me.
Thou, Romeo, my inclusive church.
Julie, we will have enough of this.
Romeo, wherefore thou art COC?
Halt, gentles, heed and wait and see, as we two star-crossed lovers, through our faith, do unite two camps, through dialogue and grace.
We shall, by pure example, make amends, transforming bitter rivals into friends.
Oh no, what foolishness is this? Alas, alack. Don't bring those microphones too close or they'll feedback.
Oh, woe, and what a sorry sight is this.
It grieves my heart to see them so undone.
Come, let us bear them hence from here, and we will speak more of this anon.
For we hence to ruminate upon this, the issue, and the 88.
General Council 88 drafted a resolution declaring that full membership in the church was open to all people, regardless of sexual orientation, who professed faith in Jesus Christ and obedience to him, and left the power to decide who should be ordained where it had always been, with the congregations, the presbyteries, and the conferences. Don't.
Welcome back to Moderator Jeopardy, brought to you by the editorial board of the Ottawa Citizen. Today's moderator category is the Right Reverend Bill Phipps. Reverend Phipps,
These things happen, Alex.
Yes, apparently young Alex the new Alex. Well, welcome back to Moderator Jeopardy, brought to you by the editorial board of the Ottawa Citizen. Today's moderator contestant is the Right Reverend Bill Phipps. Reverend Phipps, your categories are Canadian economic policies, transnational corporations, the effect of declining social spending, and political activism in the 90s.
I'll take Canadian economic policy for 400, Alex.
All right, Mr. Phipps. Under Canadian economic policy, the answer is your view on the bodily resurrection of Jesus Christ.
You're sure you have the right category, Alex?
Canadian economic policy for 400. Your view on the bodily resurrection of Jesus Christ. We need an answer, Reverend Phipps.
Well, if you're asking me whether I believe in a literal interpretation of the Gospels and the resuscitation of a physical body, I'd have to say no.
I'm sorry, that's not the correct answer.
But
nor is it phrased in the form of a question. Perhaps you can make up the points in the double jeopardy round.
Alex, you know the Christian faith is not a set of doctrinal assertions that you can check off and decide who's in and who's not. It's a commitment to doing justice and walking in kindness and living with integrity in creation. Transnational corporations for 100, Alex.
The answer is your belief in the divinity of Jesus.
For Pete's sake.
At the sound of the tone, please record your message.
Hi, you have reached the First Nations people. We can't come to the phone right now. So please, leave your apology at the sound of the tone. Long before your people journeyed to this land, our people were here, etc., etc. Anyway, we'll be in and out throughout the week. But we'll be checking for our apologies on a regular basis. If you have already left an apology, thank you very much. Our people will contact you and we'll get back to you. Oh, and if this is about the residential school, you're going to have to come to us in person. There's not enough tape on this darn machine.
There you go. Go in your box. Boys and girls, the great Ucini.
thank you. I'm pleased to represent the United Church of Canada at this Peace and Justice event. Please welcome my lovely assistants, Miriam and Mershida.
And now, for his first trick, the great Ucini will produce a dove of peace from this ordinary handkerchief.
You know what? I was thinking of doing something a little bit more dangerous.
But we haven't practiced more dangerous.
I am the great Ucini.
Okay.
What's this?
Think of it as symbolic of the blind spots of liberal Christianity.
Okay.
You want it dangerous?
Where do you stand on the Israeli settlements in the West Bank?
I'm sorry?
On the one hand, Unite Church was one of the Canadian voices prior to World War II that denounced the race laws of Nazi Germany and spoke out in sympathy and support for the plight of the Jews.
On the other hand, United Church of Canada has always recognized the Palestinian refugees displaced by the creation of a Jewish homeland in Israel as underdogs.
Well, I wouldn't say the other hand. It's actually really the same.
Arm.
Was that an arms trade?
Yeah, no, we get it.
You should boycott Israel.
No way. Do you want to be accused of anti-Semitism?
Oh, this thing's getting a little tight.
Listen, they are not going to listen to you because this is a justice issue. So unless you hit them in the pocketbook...
Now, trot out the stereotypes.
What are you talking about stereotypes? In the fight against apartheid...
Apartheid? You're accusing Israel of, like, apartheid?
No, I'm just saying that it was essential in the struggle against apartheid to be able to use boycotts as an effective way of ending.
Ladies, you know, these acts are a celebration of freedom. Can we not bring politics into it? You're giving me a look. I can tell.
Listen, Ucini, if you want to take sides about this whole issue, go right ahead. Blame the Jews. It's what Christianity is good at.
Hey, that's not fair. Okay, it's a little bit fair. But listen, the United Church of Canada is trying to be more conscious of the way that we represent Judaism and Jewish people in our beliefs and in our theology. Listen, I've got a report in here somewhere to prove it. And listen, Miriam, where are you? Mershida, where are you? Listen, Israel has a right to exist.
Why are you telling me?
And the United Church of Canada denounces hatred and the teaching of violence in all its forms.
Do you have a report in there somewhere that says that not all Muslims are terrorists?
Yes, I do. And listen, Miriam, where are you? Oh, there you are. Listen, you have to stop encroaching on Palestinian territory and pull out of the settlements. It's not good for the peace process. Listen, I don't want to boycott, but I am going to stop purchasing things made in settled territories. Ta-da!
Ta-da!
I thought that'd be enough to get me out of this.
Listen, Ucini, it doesn't work like that. You don't get just to wave your hand over a handkerchief and produce a dove.
Well, you also can't produce a dove without doing anything.
Well, listen, we're going to go take a coffee break. You let us know when you get out of there.
Hey, what if I need to go to the bathroom?
There's a porta potty in the Golan Heights.
Oh, it's occupied, though.
Somebody needs this. Stop it. Somebody needs this. Hey.
Okay.
Well, here we are at the end of our play.
It's been quite a ride.
Well, there's been some ups and downs.
Oh, yes, and ups and downs and ups and downs and ups and downs.
Well, we've weathered the storm, and it's nothing but smooth smooth sailing from here on out.
You think?
You know, my friend, the future is so bright. Just think of everything the church has done and everything it can do. You cannot help but be hopeful.
I'm glad you feel that way.
You don't?
I didn't say that.
Oh, well, look at those young, optimistic young people. See?
Look out there, Rose. Do you see it? Possibilities for increased global partnerships. Opportunities to connect in a meaningful way through technology. Reconciliation with First Nation communities. And a chance to provide a spiritual perspective on the world's ecological issues. Do you see it, Rose?
I see it, Jack.
Oh, that's nice.
Oh.
Rose, do you trust me?
Oh, I trust you, Jack.
Did you do this?
I don't know what you're talking about.
Woohoo! I'm king of the world!
Oh, my gosh. Oh, I can't believe it. Oh.
Bosun, report.
All calm and clear, Captain, sir.
Good. It looks like we'll be reaching our destination in good time. I'll be in my quarters.
Just one thing, Captain.
Yes, lad?
Well, not worth mentioning, really.
Come on, out with it.
Well, see what you think. Take a look out there.
Oh, no.
Whitecaps?
That's what I thought at first, sir.
Ah, I see now. Aging demographic.
And declining membership.
Increasingly secular society. Reduced resources for mission and service, theological education, and social justice advocacy. This is not good.
Good thing we're unsinkable, right, Captain?
Sound the alarm.
Iceberg ahead! Iceberg ahead!
Iceberg, get ahead!
Iceberg, get ahead!
Turn us hard to port, Bosun.
Which way's port, Captain?
Port is,
Stern to the back.
Right.
No, back. Stern to the back.
No, I mean, you're right. The stern's in the back.
Okay, yeah.
Starboard's on the right, stern's at the back. What's left?
Port, bow and port.
Bow and port both?
Port is left. In God's name, turn the wheel.
Okay. It's still approaching.
To the right.
It's still coming.
The chairs. Move the chairs.
No good, Captain.
The other side.
The other side. Facing each other.
Dead ahead.
Facing out. Facing out.
Facing out, that's better.
Get rid of the chairs altogether.
Off with the chairs. Get the...
No good, Captain.
Abandon ship.
Abandon ship. Abandon ship.
Prepare the lifeboats. Women and children first.
Most of the children have left already, Captain.
My God, to thee, nearer to thee.
Oh, Jack, what are we gonna do?
Rose, whatever you do, don't let go. I don't care if it's to form a house church or a faith-based social justice coalition or whatever. I want you to survive, Rose.
Oh, Jack.
Can you do that for me?
Don't talk like that. They're gonna come back for us.
Promise me, Rose. Promise me that your heart will go on.
Oh, Jack, don't say that. Just hang on.
I'm sorry, Rose. I'm so cold, so cold. And honestly, the kids have hockey practice on Sunday morning. It's such a hassle getting to church on time. Goodbye, Rose.
Jack! Jack! I will go on. I will go on. Wait! Wait! Wait!
You did this. This was you. You turned my last future triumphant scene into this. You ran my church into an iceberg.
Sorry.
Well, sorry is not going to cut it, sir.
Can I try to make you feel better?
You can try, but it won't work.
Take a look.
The iceberg. It's gone.
Yep.
Did you do that for me? Well, how?
Global warming.
What?
The iceberg just melted away. Ocean levels are up 2 meters. Our destination's underwater. Much of this doesn't matter anymore. We're not the Titanic. We're the Ark! You're welcome.
You know, it's a good thing I love you because I could really, really, really hate you right now.
I speak with the voice of many, and any who fail to find the harmony embedded in the tangled sheets of my verse need to first wake up their ears and listen, because here's what they're missing. There clearly exists in me more than just this thing, this one face, this one voice, this one personal history. This mystery of who I am is more than just this, you see? So how can we simplistically say, this is me, when even my ethnicity is a multiplicity?
I embody diversity, and I'll be the first to say that next to me, the complexity of, say, a university degree in cosmology is like a game of X's and O's to Stephen Hawking.
We're talking intercultural, like a poorly maintained biolab fridge. My cultures slide from petri dish to petri dish.
The rock upon which I build my church is best likened to a stone gathering moss despite its rolling, because the cost of controlling the interactions of this and that, of keeping each sample discrete and intact, is that nothing grows. Everything's flat.
But that's only if I dismiss Paul's epistles and balk at the call of the Gospels to take up my cross-pollination and walk.
I am not alone. I live in God's world. I am third-person plural. I am boy. I am girl. I am downtown. I am rural. I'm the gentle curl of smoke rising from sweetgrass.
I'm the skirl of the bagpipes, the taiko drum beat fast.
The unfurling of hand-printed cloth for a head wrap.
And if I love you means not having to see you're sorry, I'm sorry, that's crap.
I am the dizzying swirl of paint on a mural, because flesh comes in more colors than Crayola can cope with. And my hope is eventually that we'll see diversity not as just a nice idea, but as reality.
Because reality is awesomely weird, like a dozen red roses delivered from a secret admirer in an aspen grove. You can't see the florist for the trees.
I'm a denomination that does not fit in your wallet.
And call it bad form, but I need to warn you that I religiously practice safe sex. Because when you pray with me, you've prayed with everyone I've ever prayed with. And to accentuate my thesis, I intentionally praise Jesus in Cantonese, Mandarin, Armenian, Akan, Japanese, Taiwanese, Italian, Korean, Hungarian, German, Swahili, and Spanish, Lingala, and Welsh. And before I finish, that's finished with 2 N's. And yes, je me souviens, I remember. The embers of my song burn in the members who can't hear it. Even the deaf praise.
My voice is a choir, so why are we so quick to deny the full spectrum of sound? We need to pitch the idea that unity is found in sameness and claim this as gospel.
Only in diversity is unity possible. The only good use of a monolith is scaring the piss out of 8 men at the beginning of a space odyssey. But the God I see reflected in each cultural perspective is like a million pinprick holes in the black velvet oil painting of night. And when the light collides, it explodes with the brightness of a supernova. My God is full of stars.
Because we know this Holy One of ours fell to earth and shattered like stained glass. And this matters because as time passes, our task is to gather the shards that have scattered far and wide and bring them back together.
But we're not a melting pot. We're not even a mosaic. As prosaic as it sounds, we can't be glued down. And I found that like a below average student, I'm proud of that red C marked on my essay. It attests the day that I walked through an ocean to freedom.
Now tell me your stories, I need them. Because I don't know what you escaped to belong here or the price your ancestors paid to remain here. But I swear, when we share the pains that we bear, we are stronger.
The history of your indenture gives teeth to my calls to end slavery.
And the bravery of all the pacifists who sought distant shores rather than bloody their fists in some tyrant's wars make me stick to my guns when it comes to peace.
The feasts you serve in times of famine inspire me.
And the Minjung concept of hand requires me to ask not just who got shot first, but who got.
And maybe you have ticket stubs in your pocket from underground trains, along with the pain of having again and again to explain where you're from, when the only answer you've got is how long have you got? I've got all day.
And this is just to say, as third person plural, I need a referral because I've lost patience with every deferral of the full recognition of all that we are.
Inclusivity is a door left ajar, but we can do far better. We can knock out a wall.
We can walk from the margins and barge in and call out the racist complacency that fails to see every face as a place card at the table of grace. So if everyone around you looks the same as you, that's fine. Look farther, squint harder, because I won't have it that my church is white bread. Though, yes, I'll admit, it seems so from its wrapping, with the bright-colored balloons not quite overlapping, and the pitch of enrichment with mineral and vitamins. No wonder everyone's determined that it's all white within.
But the fight begins now, to push past the plastic, because inside the wrapping is more than just that which is familiar and mainstream and bleached and expected. The loaf of our lives is more than just white bread. It's roti and rye and tortilla and pita, rice bread and pot brewed and bami and injera.
Don't panic, there's bannock.
And let me hear chala.
The call of this list is for all of us to do something drastic. Unwrap the packaging, pull back the plastic, untangle the twist ties and look inside. Let's misspell united until we're untied.
And that all may be one, but maybe one what? Maybe one congregation of all of my relations. Maybe one inspiration to all of the nations. Maybe one celebration of our variations without the conflation of full interrogation, with assimilation and knowing your station. Maybe one indication that immigration informs our vocation and the duration to place our heart's hope for our transformation. The vibration you feel in your chest is me. I would drop the mic C, but the next person might need it, so let me repeat. It is our openness that is our hope in this.
We've lasted this long by our longing to expand our song of belonging and be changed by one another. So I dare you, widen your circle of care. United starts with you and I, but it doesn't stop there.
My voice is a choir igniting a fire of ideas that rival the sun. How many light bulbs does it take to change a people? Maybe one.
It's okay. Come back, come back, come back. And I'm gonna clap one more time. How about that? All right. Okay. Actually, the first thing I want to do is say thank you before I clap again. So just wait, because there's a to thank. I want to thank Scott Douglas, who's the playwright of this play. Who's not in the room, but he did write most of the play for our 75th anniversary and updated it for our 90th. So we hope it's being streamed and thanked, and we'll pass that on to him. The second group I want to thank is the London Conference actors. Here they are. How great are they? And besides serving on the General Council Executive, our new lay representative to the executive and our ordered person, Wendy Brown and Doug Ray, are the directors. Totally. And we do want to thank all the local arrangements crew who ran around and got all our props that wouldn't fit on the plane. And to our half Newfie tech crew that's hanging, they're our, what do you call them? Stage hands. Come on. They got black t-shirts just for this. So, all right? Awesome. And to Cheryl Ann, who's our executive secretary, because this is my crew too. She's at the back doing that. Karen Smart went through the whole play and queued it up for us. And when the tech, sound, and light team aren't working for Van Halen, they're working for us. And with only one full run-through of that show tonight, I want to say thank you to them and to the crew. And now you can stand one more time. Video should play, I hope so.
What a history we have. Let us stand and state what we believe in song, as you're able. We are not alone. We live in God's world. We believe in God who has created and is creating, who has come in Jesus, the Word made flesh to reconcile and make new, who works in us and others by the Spirit. We trust in God. We are called to be the church, to celebrate God's presence, live with respect in creation, to love and serve others, seek justice, resist evil, proclaim Jesus crucified and risen, our judge and our hope. In life, in death, in life beyond death, God is with us, we are not alone. Thanks be to God. Amen. What are we saying? The end.
Amen.
Catherine and Danielle, Ayana James to the front.
All of us or just me? Okay.
And Danielle? It's going.
What you were playing during the video,
Good.
is that a name or is there for copyright stuff or anything?
Oh no, it's the road to listing partner. It's road to listing partner.
Do we know where that comes from?
DSLISD.
Oh, there, she's right
It's
there.
either OONARNA. There's two potential spellings, and I can't remember which is right.
No, she wants to hear it and then.
It's public domain.
I'll Google it. So is
Yeah,
it public
yeah,
domain?
yes. Yeah, it's a
Ship
place in
lies in
Ireland.
the harbor, the full moon shines.
I thought I was gonna faint.
Salty breeze blows and we'll be there.